Well, good morning everyone. My name's Danielle and I'm the Education Coordinator here at Sydney Olympic Park. I'd like to first of all welcome you to the 2014 Youth Eco Summit here at Newington Armoury. Welcome to those people in the audience with us today. We've got a full audience, which is wonderful. We've got Epping Boys, welcome, Kingswood High, who are going to see their peers present in a moment. We've got Tara, who've come along, who are also presenting next. And we've got Macquarie Fields High School. So welcome, and also welcome to those people who are joining us via live feed, in the live feed streaming via YouTube. So hi to everyone out there as well. So what we're going to see today is all the hard work and dedication that the Kingswood High School students have put into their World Parks Congress Fuse project. And to explain a little bit more about this project, I'm going to hand over to Dan Nichols from the National Parks and Wildlife Service. He's going to explain more about what the project is and then hand over, and we're going to have a presentation and a video from the Kingswood High School students.
Thanks, Danielle, and good morning, everyone. Fuse is a program that's been developed by the New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Service to link New South Wales secondary schools to a major global conservation event happening here in Sydney in just 3 weeks' time. The World Parks Congress, organised by the IUCN, or the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, is held just once every 10 years. And research scientists, conservation agencies like the New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Service and park managers from around the world get together and discuss the issues and set the agenda for conservation inside and outside protected areas for the next 10 years. So it's a really major event for Sydney to be hosting. In line with one of the streams of the Congress, inspiring a new generation, the aims of that stream include having the voice of young people at the Congress, contributing to the Congress. So that's one of the key reasons we've developed this program, WPC Fuse, to bring students to the Congress and to put them together with those conservation workers and researchers. And we've asked the students to come up with their own inspiring solutions to some of those conservation challenges, because that's the theme of the Congress: Parks, People, Planet, Inspiring Solutions. Stream 4 of the Congress is supporting human life, and that's the area that Kingswood is exploring. The environmental and economic importance of ecosystem services that function within our protected areas are often undervalued by the community. Ecosystem services provide life-sustaining benefits for all of us. We all get from the environment. It is the healthy environments, stable soils and natural wetlands within protected areas that are responsible for providing important things like clean water to all of us. Students from Kingswood High School have been researching the social and economic benefits we get from these ecosystem services within the protected areas, particularly of the Greater Blue Mountains National Parks, and comparing those with the complication, the expense of managing water quality beyond those protected areas. So we're going to introduce Nicole, Blake, Carly and Jordan to give us their presentation and offer their inspiring solution. Please welcome them.
Good morning. We are Kingswood High School and we were given Stream 4, Support in Human Life, as our stream to study. Our brief was to examine the socio-economic benefits of protected areas, focusing on the provision of water. There are 3 main areas we were given to cover. These were wetland functions, ecosystem services, and to undertake some primary research. Our research group consisted of 15 students from different ethnic, cultural, and social backgrounds, ranging from years 7 to 10. So, we're here to tell you how important ecosystem services are and how they support human life. We are going to do this by focusing on water and protected areas. A lot of us take water for granted. You turn on a tap and water comes out. We never really think about where it came from or the processes that it went through. Ecosystem services are the benefits that societies obtain from nature. They include clean water, timber, habitats for fish, pollination by insects or wind, and the cycling of nutrients and waste. Ecosystem services are essential for human survival. They support human life in ways most people do not recognize or value. Because they do not have a monetary value attached to them, the contribution of ecosystem services are often unnoticed and therefore forgotten when it comes to decision making. Our focus was to look at these services in relation to water. Most of our water comes from important water catchments such as the Blue Mountains and Warragamba catchments. These are protected within the National Reserve System. The National Reserve System is Australia's network of protected areas, conserving our natural landscape and native plants and animals for future generations. The reserve system consists of more than 10,000 protected areas and over 127 million hectares. Protected areas like these are essential to the conservation of healthy ecosystems. We developed a number of aims for our investigation. These were to review the role of wetlands and protected areas in providing ecosystem services such as clean drinking water, understand the economic contribution of the Greater Blue Mountains protected areas to the water supply of Sydney, and to find out general public awareness of these contributions to these ecosystem services.
From these aims, we devised a number of focus questions. What roles do wetlands and protected areas play in the provision of clean drinking water? What is the economic contribution of the Greater Blue Mountains protected areas to the supply of water in Sydney? And what management activities are undertaken within and outside protected areas to protect the water supply? And how we should increase awareness of and support for these ecosystem services, and the actions needed to protect them. These questions will be answered in the following slides. The Hawkesbury Nepean catchment is one of the largest catchment basins in New South Wales, with an area of 21,400 square kilometres. It provides drinking water to approximately 4.5 million people in Sydney, the Blue Mountains, Illawarra, the Southern Highlands and Shoalhaven, which accounts for around 60% of New South Wales population. Some of our most important water catchments, such as the Blue Mountain and Warragamba Dam, are part of the Hawkesbury Nepean catchment. The Hawkesbury Nepean catchment provides us with many environmental and economic services, such as shelter for threatened species and an attraction for over 10 million tourists each year. Wetlands are protected within the National Reserve System. This is because they play an important role in water ecosystems. They are natural water filters. The plants in wetlands slow the flow of water, and this allows time for the sediments and nutrients to settle to the bottom, and therefore filters the water before it reaches our rivers and streams. Wetlands also reduce the impacts of floods, as wetlands provide an area for flood water to spread out and slow down, which in turn reduces the negative impacts of flooding, such as destruction of houses, roads and other built-up areas. Wetlands are biologically diverse. This is because wetlands are home to many species of plants and animals. The plants and animals found in wetlands are diverse as they have evolved with fluctuating water levels. Wetlands are a habitat for food and food source. They provide an area for many species of aquatic and marine life to breed, as well as being a food source for a variety of different species. They also allow for scientific research and education.
Wetlands also have huge economic values. Instead of spending huge amounts of money on filtering water, wetlands do it at absolutely no cost. This is proved in New York when the government avoided spending up to $8 billion on new wastewater treatment plants by investing only $1.5 billion instead on the purchase of land around reservoirs upstate. The land they invested in purifies the water supply for free. Although this example is in US, it still applies to wetlands here in Australia. Wetlands act as tourist and cultural attractions. This brings revenue to local areas surrounding the wetlands. In 1997, the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment valued wetlands at US $15 trillion. As you can see from the table shown, wetlands generate $44,597 per hectare per year, and that's just the inland wetland category. Wetlands provide us with so many services and benefits, but did you know they are actually one of the most threatened ecosystems? This is because of the vegetation clearing, land use, pollution, and overexploitation of resources. All of these things are caused by us, humans, which is why we should create more awareness about the destruction of wetlands and how important they are in supporting human life. To create awareness and protect wetlands, we think there is a need for greater community awareness. As part of our investigation, we surveyed the wider community through a Google form which we posted on the school's website page. 34 people responded in the time frame we gave for them to complete our survey. We surveyed respondents' knowledge on wetlands, on protected areas, and their management. The big standout from our survey was that every respondent thought there was a greater need to promote awareness of the importance of wetlands and protected areas. We also asked people what they considered to be the best way to promote awareness. There was a range of answers given, with 44% of respondents suggesting social media as the most effective way to get the message across.
We need to protect and sustainably manage our wetlands and water ecosystems, as they are essential for human survival. As the world's population continues to increase, more pressure will be put on these ecosystems. The benefits to man are immeasurable, and our future survival relies on their protection. In order to protect wetlands, it is obvious that all stakeholders, such as individuals, farmers, owners of wetlands, and the government need to be properly educated on the value of wetlands and how they and their surrounding land can be best managed. Some solutions to protecting our wetlands include sustainable water irrigation for farming, more protected areas around wetlands, fences for farms to prevent animal contamination, and reduction of waste. So what action will we take? We decided to produce a film that highlights the role wetland plays and action individuals can do to make a difference. This film will be shown shortly. To get the message across to the wider community, we plan to spread our message across social media and present at environmental conferences such as today. We also plan to visit our local feeder primary schools and help to educate younger children about wetlands and ecosystem services. Thank you for your time and for listening to our presentation. Remember, everyone can make a difference. Help us protect her. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kingswood High, for that presentation and the video as well. It's incredibly inspiring. You've done some really great research and some work there. What we're going to do now is have some time for questions. We've got a question. We're live streaming to YouTube at the moment. We've got a question here from there, and I'll ask it, and either one of you can answer this question. You completed a survey in your research, and it included a question: are you aware of any management strategies used to protect our water supply? Can you tell us about the responses you got?
We got a very mixed result. People have a basic understanding, and I believe that they do want to educate more.
58% of the people said they knew what role wetlands play in providing clean drinking water, but only 52% of the respondents said they knew of management strategies to protect our water supply.
So I'm a bit interested in that because it does say that lots of people know what our protected areas are for, and yet some of those people who said they know what protected areas are for, then when you ask them strategies for protecting wetlands, they didn't include protected areas as one of those roles. So what do you think when they're answering the question, what are protected areas for? What are they thinking? What primarily are they thinking about?
They're probably thinking about like protected areas like national parks and for animals and things like that.
Yeah. Yes, it's likely that's flora and fauna, which is certainly an important role, but obviously your work shows us there's great benefits in people understanding more about those other roles of protected areas in terms of wetlands. So any particular benefits, if more people understood those additional roles of protected areas, can you think of any particular benefits we might get from the community or might see from people?
We might see an increase on the action that people would take to protect these areas and like not leave their rubbish there as we saw in the video.
Great, good stuff. I'm wondering if there are any questions people here in the audience have that they'd like to ask. Yes, could you come up?
What is your hope for your inspiring solution 5 years from now?
The inspiring solution? Who'd like to?
Our hope is for many high school students and primary school students to be well educated on how important and how conservative wetlands and other protected areas could be, but also so they can also tell their parents and maybe even go on activities to help try and conserve them in the future.
You identify population growth and consumption as key challenges for sustainability, and there's lots of talk about sustainability in forums like this and events like this, which is great, of course. Is it something that people, your generation, people of your age, think about or discuss outside a more formal education? Is it? Anyone care to tackle that?
I don't think many young people like talk about sustainability and stuff, which is why we need to educate like schools on why it's important and like how to conserve wetlands.
I guess there's a lot of education out there about it, but where, I guess, is it working? I suppose is my question, so that people are thinking about it, aside from those formal.
I think we need to like do it through social media, since like so many people our age use social media. So that would be a good way to like educate people our age.
Okay, sorry, Dan, we've got a question down here from the audience, from one of the Tara students.
So you were saying that you want to promote it like and teach people through social media. How do you expect to do that? Like in what way?
Well, through Facebook, you do Facebook pages, create websites, anything using social media. I guess it could get out to anyone.
Well, you can also, Say we had an Instagram site as well. If we did that, we'd share the beauty through photos of the wetlands, but we'd also share the importance as well of other protected areas. Put up YouTube videos like the one we've put up from Kingswood High School. That one was also a way to help inspire and educate everyone. A lot of people use YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr. Anything you can think of, there's always a way.
What primary research did you do? Did you just do the survey or did you do other stuff?
Great question. I was going to ask one just like that. What was surprising about the field work that you did, or the work you did?
We came to Sydney Olympic Park and we looked at the salinity of the water, and we done a lot of experiments on the wetlands, and we also saw the amount of rubbish that comes through to the wetlands, and how we need to show people that not to leave their rubbish, and yeah.
What I mainly found surprising was the water doesn't look as it's clear, but we did a test on the clearness of the water, and it was much clearer than it actually looks on the surface.
Yeah, please.
How long do you think the effects of the education will be seen? So you're saying you're going to teach kids and stuff like that. How long will that effect take on the wetlands?
Sorry, could you just repeat that last bit of the question, sorry?
Just how long after you implement this, how long do you think until you'll see an effect on the wetlands?
Well, you never know really. I mean, it just depends. Nothing's ever sure in this world lately. It could take a few days, a few weeks, a few months, a few years even. But all I know is that we're definitely going to do our best to spread it around as fast as possible. And that's about as much as I can say about that, really.
Thanks.
Anyone else with questions in the audience? No? All right, well, thank you so much to Blake, Jordan, Nicole and Carly today for getting up and presenting all of your research and findings for the FUSE project. So please give them a big round of applause. So that ends this session. If you're here for the next session, please stay. There'll be about a half-hour break, and then Tara will be up next.